Hey, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another edition of Lisa Renee TV. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you like what you see, definitely hit the like button and share the video on all your social media networks, of course. Welcome back, you guys. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys have been doing fantastic. I've been doing pretty good myself lately. Yep. Yeah, I'm a week late. I already know. But yeah, I've just been chilling out and working as usual. But now I'm back. But anyway, so I definitely want to talk about this video will be about the Freddie Gray case. And Freddie Gray, if you all don't know by now, I'm sure you probably do because the media has been all over this case. He's a guy from Baltimore, Maryland. He was 25 years old, and he was recently killed by police officers. Unfortunately, yes, he did pass away. It was from an illegal arrest that they made of him, and they claim he had a weapon on him, and he had some kind of switchblade or knife, they claim. But the weapon that he had was legal under Baltimore, Maryland law. So he was not in the wrong in any kind of way. Anyway, that's besides the point. It wasn't a legal arrest, and he was killed because they basically used excessive force on him, and it caused a major spinal cord injury. And there's a video online, and they basically you see them dragging this man back and forth like a wet mop or something, and they just had no regard for him as a human being. So they dragged him across the ground. They like threw him into the police van, and it was disgusting. You just watch a human being be dragged across the ground. His legs are dangling. He can't stand up because your spinal cord controls a lot of functions in your body, including you standing, walking, sitting. You this man is limp. His head is hanging. Because at this point, his neck is broken. It's like really. And as I was reading further about the case, I found out that when he was in the van, they didn't even belt him in. They still called wanted to give him a rough ride. Oh my god, like what bullshit, right? Like what kind of shit is that? Like they get in the van, they don't even belt the man in. They left him face down on the van floor. He kept saying he was in pain. Thought he needed like medical help. They didn't want to check on him. When they did check on him, at one point he became unresponsive. They still were not trying to help the man, until the last minute when they finally decided, okay, we need to call somebody. And it was just, I think, the a-hole who was in charge, who was driving the van, and what was his name? Officer Caesar R. Goodson Jr., age 45. He was driving the van. He was like the real biggest asshole of the whole thing. He was absolutely horrible. He just was like, real nonchalant about it. He had stopped responding. After a while, after he was trying to say, okay, I think something's wrong here, he just stopped responding. Um, and actually he's the one who got like the worst charge. He got the most charge out of everybody because he was, complete utter, a hole. Yeah, he had no regard at all for the man's life. So he was charged with second degree depraved heart murder, which basically means indifference to human life. And basically that's kind of what he exhibited. So he got the most charge out of anybody. So Marilyn J. Mosby, she's the prosecutor in Baltimore, Maryland. So she filed like the charge as soon as she got the medical examiner's report. She just went right in. I mean, she talk about swift justice, right? Like she went right in and was like, "Yeah, this is like a grave injustice. This is horrible and egregious act." So she went right in and went ahead and made sure that these cops were charged. So, um, the bail was set at $350,000 for 4 out of the 6 officers. So there were 6 officers, and 3 of them were white, and 3 were black. And one of them was a lieutenant of 17 years. I wonder, was that the Goodson guy, the one who got the most charges? probably would. He sound like the asshole. He been there for a while. He used to be them. You like you should know better. Like you been on the force forever. You could teach everybody. Like how dare you, you asshole. I can't think of another word for him. He's an asshole. He is. I mean, he's an evil, depraved, demonic son of a. He is. And several of the other officers were like new on the force, so they were rookies. And then the other one was a woman. She had just been made sergeant. And she should know better too. I'm like, so that just made us as women look bad. 'Cause I mean, women, I'm all about women climbing up the workforce, especially like doing what's perceived as a man's job. And like, you supposed to be top dog, for women. You just moved up to sergeant level, and you're participating in this kind of foolery, and like, really, So, Gray, he died after a week due to a spinal cord injury. Um, which and basically his death caused already heavy tensions between the majority black community in Maryland and the police force to basically combust, and rioting and looting broke out on Monday. Okay, so I know you all probably heard about that too. Okay, so right now, this city has a curfew, and the National Guard is there to try to keep things secure. So I'm glad, like, the rioting and everything calmed down, in the city, because I feel like personally rioting doesn't do much. And me and my mom were actually talking about this too. Why is it that, like, if you notice, even with the Mike Brown situation, I think if I can remember, and that was in Ferguson. Did any riot and breakout? I think so. I mean, people. Anytime it's like a situation with black people, and if one of us is killed by police, usually it's when one of us is killed by police. It's always like a rioting situation, or there's like protesters and somebody gets hurt, or a lot of unruliness happens, and it's really because people are hurt and people are angry and people are sad, and they have every right to be. But my thing is this: you have to be smart. Rioting and tearing up your community is not going to make people care more. It's not going to make people solve your issue or hear you more. They're just going to think you're stupid, and they're not going to feel any more sympathy for you just because I tore up my neighborhood CVS. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I need to feel my prescription now. You know what I mean? So now that was a resource for you that's now gone. And remember, when you tear up something, it takes more money to repair than it does to build up from the beginning. So just think about these things when you out there riding and looting and acting a fool, and you thinking, oh, I'm showing them. So you're not showing them anything, especially when you looting. The looters get on my nerves. You just looking for a new TV. So you using somebody's death as an opportunity for you to go and steal and act a fool and do the coonery and the buffoonery BS that you wanted to do all along. This is just an opportunity for you to act the asshole because you really don't care anyway. This is all about you, right? So black people, stop doing that. Stop with all the rioting. The rioting doesn't do anything. But, because see, you have death and now you have destruction. So death, I mean, that's adding insult to what? Injury. Stop with the rioting doesn't do anything. What's going to do something is, try to keep your demonstration peaceful. Try to just keep, honestly, you angry, you ready to slap somebody, you ready to kill somebody yourself, but then killed your baby, killed the member of the community. I understand you pissed, but you might want to keep it to a level. I think we should probably try to do that. Let's try to, keep it a little bit more peaceful, because you're going to get a lot more done that way by, yes, march. Yes, you do your marching. Yes, you do your protesting, but keep the violent riots and the looting out of it. That's all I'm saying. Cut that out. Yeah, you need to march. You need to say something. You need to speak up. Yes, be vocal. Be very vocal. Just don't riot. The rioting is crazy. Don't tear your community up. But, I would suggest maybe writing into Congress, trying to get the president to comment, and the president didn't comment much on this case either. He just said that really the community just needs the truth, and they deserve the truth. They really want to hear the truth. But he kind of kept out of it. He didn't get overly involved in it, which I was somewhat but not too. I don't know. I think this whole thing is like, I guess he knows that ultimately it's going to come down to Baltimore, Maryland, and the justice system. and there's not a whole lot he can do from Washington, so it's like, but at least he did say something. He said something, but he just didn't really get overly involved in it. Yeah, but the Baltimore chapter of Fraternal Order of Police lawyer Michael E. Davey, he feels the actions taken by the prosecutor was an egregious rush to judgment and that the officers will be vindicated as they've done nothing wrong. Now, that is the biggest bunch of bull I've ever heard in my life. I was like, what do you mean they've done nothing wrong? Are you serious? A man died at their hands. Like, he got his neck broke. I mean, like, but they've done nothing wrong? I mean, come on. I mean, you see all the racism and haterism that was all wrapped up in that. I mean, that was like just no regards to human life at all. I'm like, this man got killed. This man got killed over nothing. He got killed because they walked up to him. I think he was out there running or something, and just probably taking a jog or whatever, just jogging, and he was out here minding his business, and some crazy ass cops, racist cops, looked at him and saw dark skin and assumed that he was up to nothing. Probably thought he was a drug dealer or some other kind like that. And they ran up on the man and decided that they wanted to, kind of pick with him. And instead of stopping him, I mean, if you was curious about why he running and what he's doing, you could have just stopped him and like, excuse me, sir, I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions. Where are you headed to now? What's going on here? I mean, and that would have been kind of wrong too, but at least he would have been killed. He didn't have to get his neck broke. He has neck broke because you were curious about why he was running. I think they just started running after him and he got scared, which most black men do. I mean, like, oh my god, why the cops chasing me? I haven't done anything. So he gonna get scared. Even if you need to stop him and you need to use force, that's fine, but there's a force and there's excessive force. And what they did was they used way too much force. He got his neck where he got killed. I think you wanted to kill him. They went in like, I'm gonna kill this. I'm gonna kill this. That's exactly what they was thinking. I'm like, you didn't have to do that. You wanted him dead. I don't know why. Because he's black. I'm like, that was crazy. I mean, all you had to do was, you could have like held him down or something, or just enough to calm it, and so you could tell them to calm down, calm down. We're not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you. I just have a couple questions. I just hey, calm down, calm down. I'm sure he would have calmed down, and you could have pulled him up onto the ground, and just held him for a second and say, okay, we're not gonna hurt you. We just want to ask you some questions. I just want to know where you running. You start running faster when we ran after you. I don't know if we scared you. We just had a couple questions for you, whatever. I mean, like, come on, he would have went home and still been living today. Yeah, we would never known his name or nothing about this man. Like, what? That didn't have to go like that. But see, you made a choice to go in, on some racist, you know, trying to be bad type of, just, you're doing too many big things. And it's like, I mean, what? Stop doing that. But they always do it to black men because they feel like, they feel like they can. I mean, they know they're gonna get away with it. Now, like the guy who killed Mike Brown, he got away with that, like scot free. That was horrible. But I mean, we saw that coming though. We all knew like he's gonna walk away from this, and he knew that going in. So he's like, I can kill this guy. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it don't matter what they say. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I'm gonna have my job. He's going in a box, and he'll be in the ground, but I'll be on top of the ground and with a job. And as bad and effed up as that sounds, that's the reality of the situation. They already know that you're gonna have a funeral in your hands. I'm gonna go on vacation. I'm gonna still have my job. I'm good. They already know that the good old boys at the police station are gonna back them up because it's kind of how it always turns out. Why? Because your son is the wrong color. Like it's just it's all. And I'm not a person that I don't like to get all crazy about race and all that kind of stuff. Like I don't like to. I never go around accusing every white person of being racist. I know you're racist or whatever. Like I'm not that kind of person at all. But it's just it exists in some people, and some people have that spirit of racism running through them, and you have to when you see it, you got to call it out. So I'm calling it out. But yeah, it seems to be that's the issue. They feel like they can do that, and I think a lot of them, the white cops who are like that, not saying all white cops, not all white cops not like that, but the ones who are, they just have this perceived notion about, minorities, so and they just see them and they just assume, I know he on something. I know he got something on him. I know, and I'm like, they tend to treat them any kind of way. They talk to them any kind of way. They rough them up. They do whatever because they feel like, who cares? He never a little black boy, but nobody care about him, And also when it comes to those types of cases, juries, any type of legal office, they tend not to care as well. They're very nonchalant. They're very they're very quick. They like, well, let's just get this out the way. A lot of times they'll vindicate the officer because, in their minds, and they may not say it, but in the back of their minds, they think, I'm sure he did something to bring on himself anyway. So yeah, they'll go ahead and vindicate the hell out of the officer. They like, whatever. The kid's dead. Yeah, I mean, hey, let the officer go back to work. We're done, and they want to move on. When, they don't want to deal with it. They like, that's your burden to bear, they're very good at separating themselves from your world because they're not in your world. They don't know what it feels like. So they're like, this is not my kid. My kids are at home. I don't have to deal with this. And it's not fair. It's not right. And I'm like, what if that was your kid? How would you feel? Having to bury your child. Do you know what the hell that feels like? No, you don't. Maybe if you did, then maybe you could actually fathom, and actually get some damn common sense and, a bit of decency and a heart, you know, and just let's stop looking at the colors of skin and all that bullshit. Let's really just feel like and remember that we're human and God made us all. And just remember for a second we are human, and we all bleed red blood. If you want to talk about colors, but yeah, and just think like that. And maybe some of these senseless ass crimes against black men, against black women, against whoever it would stop. All that would stop because it would go. It would go away because you just think for a second to stop. All these ideas and stereotypes. Just stop stereotyping people. You got to stop. Because people have to stop losing their lives due to stupidity. Due to I don't like you because I don't like how your face look. I don't like how you look. You the wrong color. All this kind of bullshit, and whatever, So, yeah. But yeah, that's all I had to say about that. I just wanted to come in here and just give my little, spiel, my little 2 cents about how I felt about the situation. I definitely had to say something about it because it's a national case and it's been going on for the past week, and I had to say something about it. I'm like, I first saw it, I was just disturbed. I was like, oh my god, like why are they dragging this man across the ground like that? I mean, it's stupid. Anyway, I'm glad they got their ass, reprimanded. May they rot in hell, and I hope they're haunted in life by this memory forever. On that note, y'all go ahead and drop a comment below. Let's talk about this. Share, share, share. Y'all know what to do. Add me on Facebook, Twitter if you haven't already. And, I'll see y'all guys later. Bye.